Hello, everyone, and welcome to HMG's This Week in WWE. I am your host, Jimmy T. He is my co-host, R to the B to the V, and we are live on Humming Media Group's YouTube channel and, of course, on the Patreon after the fact. Rick, more releases, more problems. What is going on, man?
Hey, this week on WWE, we are talking mo cuts, mo problems, while the big wigs at the top of the company up in the boardroom at TKO, Jimmy T, they're eating them big old tomahawk steaks. They are reporting record highs financially, not just breaking the bank. They're shattering numbers, but yet they're asking the soldiers on the front line, the talents that we're supposed to be coming to see, they're asking them to take pay cuts, Jimmy T. Hey, but, and that's the hot items, the hot news. Instead of talking about the product, the feuds, what's happening bell to bell, if you smell what they're cooking at the top, man, it smells a little rotten, Jimmy. And that's where we're going to start things off this week. But first, love seeing the chat there. So people trickling in here with us, start to trickle down here a little bit in the real Queen City of Cincinnati here with the raid. So, hey, chat, we love you guys. Get to your socials, take the link, let everybody know that you're here, chime in during the show. But yeah, Jimmy, last week we started off this week in WWE with about 24 roster moves, people that were departing from the company. Lo and behold, we're going to start off. We've got a handful more. And I think this week, some big names that really surprised some people here. We're talking about New Day, Kofi Kingston, and Xavier Woods. Brother, what were your main thoughts when you heard that the highly decorated tag team, one of the arguably the greatest in WWE history, when you look at their resume, were leaving the company?
I was actually extremely shocked. As a matter of fact, I actually thought it was all lies when I saw it online. I'm like, nah, this can't be true. So I had to look more and dive deeper, and of course it was true. And yeah, I was flabbergasted. I'm not going to lie, man. I mean, the fact that these two guys, and especially Kofi, he's been there for 20 years plus, and Xavier Woods has been there for, nearly 15 years around that mark. And the fact that they just signed brand new contracts last year through TKO, which is even more bizarre. Yeah, it just doesn't sit well with me with what apparently is going on with TKO and WWE, and especially with them wanting to redo contracts, shall we say.
That's that is really the big talking point where the story kind of takes that swerve, if you will. So the details with Kofi Kingston and Xavier Woods, the New Day, it seems that parent company TKO came to the two superstars, as you said, just recently resigned last year, a 5-year new deal in place. And they said, hey, gentlemen, we would like to restructure. We're going to need you to take a pay cut. So the two talents here in question, Kofi and Xavier, said, you know what? How about we're going to go our separate way. We'll take our talents elsewhere. And even Kofi Kingston, they both have addressed the masses, their fans out there via social media. But in Kofi's address, one of the things that he put out there was, pretty much paraphrasing here, don't settle for less than what your value is. So apparently both of these two, very talented, could put a lot on the table, offer such a great deal of depth for the WWE and TKO, and to let them walk away, I think it's going to be a huge mistake. I mean, you take away just the bell-to-bell accolades, the resume that they have put together inside the ring. I mean, we look at Kofi Kingston, who is one of the most athletic and entertaining individuals of his generation. Really kind of changed, how we looked at so many things, all the great Rumble spots, the highlight reel, bringing eyes on the product, great charisma. You're talking about a gentleman whose overwhelming, over the top, number one accomplishment had other adults, grown men, weeping when he captured the WWE Championship, and what that meant for African Americans everywhere, for them to have someone that looks like them, that talks like them, that comes from that background, that represents them, finally break through and climb to the top of the mountain. What an amazing achievement and great PR crossover moment there. when you talk about somebody like Xavier Woods, he is a charisma machine. He is oozing machismo. Great personality, great crossover, especially when it comes into video games and merchandising. And then for all of us uber smarks, hey, let's be honest here, man. That guy is a living legend.
I know what you're getting at.
Living legend. What these guys could do, how they move, how they always delivered in the ring, and to leave that all on the table. Well, we don't know, what the asking price from TKO was, how the significance in the pay cut would have been. But hey, I am 100% on the side of New Day. They have put the time in. They are recognizable enough that they can leave TKO, WWE, and branch out and have major success elsewhere. And I don't think that necessarily has to be inside of a wrestling ring. I think they could go into so many other genres of entertainment and find tremendous success. But Jimmy, let me ask you this, because I'm sure if it happens, when it happens, it'll be an exciting topic for you guys over on The Wreckage. Okay. Both of their 90 days is up on Friday, July 31st, which happens to be about a 1 month before the big show in London for All Elite Wrestling. All in. To me, man, if Tony can get the deal done, that's a no-brainer with the Bucks.
Oh, 100%. And it's been a long build-up for years between the Bucks and the Elite, shall we say. And thanks to you, actually, on The Wreckage, you're the one that broke that to us, and we didn't know that. So I thank you once again, RBV. Yeah, it's the timing is perfect, but there is a but though, Rick, and I just remembered this. Now, I don't know if it's real or not. I haven't had a chance to really verify it or not, but apparently Xavier Woods has been offered a special contract to stay with WWE, but not in a wrestling capacity, but more in a, like, what's his name? Prince Pretty.
So is this maybe, is it more, I saw that they did reach out to maybe him work on specialty projects, things like that.
Right.
Yeah, they actually called it that, the Prince deal, right? Where he would maybe assist with video game development, maybe some other merchandise things. And I also believe, maybe there would have been some work at the Performance Center, like in a part-time, like training position, something like that. I did see that as well. Would you entertain that if you're Xavier, or do you see that there are greener pastures? I mean, they do have a pretty good presence overall with a general population. And I think too, we talked yesterday on a Monday locker room about been laid out, some great opportunities that TKO was missing out about using both of these individuals as brand ambassadors to continue to reach out to youths in a fun way, in uplifting, inspiring, educational.
Absolutely, 100%. That's exactly what I'll do. But if I was to entertain this idea, I'm not sure, man, because you're not allowing me to wrestle other than being able to wrestle on the indies, apparently, is what he's able to do. And on top of continuing with his up, down, and obviously being a coach or trainer of some sort in WWE. But if I was him, you know what? That's pretty much trying to tell me, like, I'm done. And there's maybe some sort of regret about letting him go like that. Me personally, go and take the big bucks at AEW, have a run over there, and then maybe consider going back doing that.
I would talk with Tony about that, see what kind of deal you can get. Maybe look at like a 1 year, especially if he's going to maybe come close to around where you were at. But with TKO now, there's some bigger questions here with it. But, back to it, I don't necessarily think they need to rely on wrestling itself. But yes, I mean, there is tremendous opportunity if they can get some good negotiations between AEW. Now, everybody really thinking with all these recent cuts, especially top names like the New Day, that Tony Khan's just going to be elevating, ready to open up the bank account and just start pushing wheelbarrows of money at these individuals. I don't know if you guys had an opportunity to talk about it yet on The Wreckage. We're going to talk about it on HTM tonight. No, the potential now with AEW is facing, they might be losing quite a bit of their income with the TV deals going. So it might not be in the wisest of decisions to go out there and overpaid guaranteed money to a lot of these free agents.
No, I'm glad you brought that up, because that news broke right after the Wreckage, after we finished doing the Wreckage. So we didn't know until after the fact. So I'm glad you brought it up. Yeah, I mean, that's interesting. If they lose their TV deal, they did come out and say also that they will be on YouTube as a, a safety net
A
per se.
transition if they
Right.
needed to. Yeah.
Right. But yeah, that's not good news, man. But the only thing is, though, the thing about Tony Khan, I think if he wants something, he's willing to pay regardless of the situation, man. And I mean, if you look at it, then this is what worries me. Hopefully that makes him like not pay up as much, because if he decides to pay, say, over 2 million for each of them, just say, then they're really like stuffing up the whole thing for mid-card wrestlers and contract negotiations, if you know what I mean. They'll be asking for way more money, and it'll just get ridiculous when it comes to payments, even though they deserve it, but it wouldn't be good for the promotions.
Well, I mean, you really look at this, if Tony Khan has learned anything from the NFL, what's happening at the top of the market is going to dictate everywhere else.
Right.
It might be in his best interest, because kind of jump back to TKO WWE, one of the bigger stories that we're hearing here now, we heard them go to New Day and ask them to restructure. There is another major rumor out there floating around that TKO went to someone who is receiving a prominent push, asked them to take up to a 50% pay cut, and this unnamed talent agreed to it. Now, that could mean a number of things when we talk about a pushed talent. So, we don't really know where that lies on the card there. But, I saw this here from Fightful. This is coming up in a time where 8-figure paychecks for TKO executives were revealed. Record high stocks were touted publicly. Right. WWE was tasked with WWE from the parent company has been tasked with shedding millions in payroll. In many cases, talents have been asked to accept pay cuts, some up to 7 figures per year. No specific names have been provided here, but according to Fightful, I mean, they're going to a lot of major players. Being reported that only a few of the superstars, the top names in the company, have the no cut clause in there. So really no one is protected. A lot of talents are worried now that these lucrative deals that they had signed are not going to be honored. If the number one wrestling promotion in the world is slashing all that pay, wouldn't it make sense for Tony Khan to slash his pay as well? Why go pay that top dollar that everyone else was when it's not necessary? You just, even if you come down a little bit, just like Tony Khan should learn in the NFL, where mid-range quarterbacks are breaking the bank because it just keeps getting more ridiculous and ridiculous each and every free agent season. This is kind of a reverse of that, where they're going to drive their value down. We talked last week in comparative to other major sports. The NFL pays from their profits, pays their employees, their players, 48%. Major League Baseball pays 47%. NBA, 50%. TKO companies, WWE and UFC, they're anywhere from 16 to 20%, which is a major drop off when you're looking at the percentages.
Oh, huge. And like we were saying last week, unless there's a union in professional wrestling, that's never going to happen with those sort of negotiations. I just don't see it on them getting that sort of money. Unfortunately for them, unless they had the balls to actually go through with it and actually go on strike, but I just don't see it happening. But they should with this new company. In some ways, maybe they should consider doing that, because I feel like TKO is absolutely robbing him, and we all know why. And that makes sense. Don't get me wrong. If you're not on television much and you're getting paid at least 7 figures, then I understand why they want to restructure contracts. But if you signed them, TKO that is, not Vince, but TKO, if you signed them yourselves in the last 12 months and now you're having second thoughts, that's not good business at all, in my opinion. But as far as Tony goes, with what you said, should he not, pay as much money, because him knowing what's going on right now with all these wrestlers, you'd be an idiot to actually offer more. But the thing about Tony, though, Rick, he's too much of a nice guy, and I just feel like he's willing to pay what they want, man.
At some point, though, Pops, Shad might step in and say, hey, this is what the market is dictating.
Right.
AEW, All Elite Wrestling, is paying buku bucks for people to sit at home. They cannot find spots to get people on their televisions. We said they might be losing television for a time, so we don't know what that landscape's going to look like there. Inside of TKO, you had mentioned there. So if they're sitting there saying, you're not on television, why are we paying? What's our return on investment? Is that the right mindset? Or should it be, hey, we've got two incredible talents that could be tremendous assets all around to our brands, individuals like Kofi Kingston, Xavier Woods. Instead of firing them, go to creative and say, find something for them. You and Bet talked about what is the New Day doing? They're there each and every week. They're getting the thank you for paying the premium Netflix and doing the commercial spots in the arena to keep people entertained. That's what they've been doing. It seems that they have grown a little bit tired of that. I could get on this. But as you said, a lot of people maybe not on television. What's strikingly odd about this round of cuts this year is it's people that are featured on television.
Right.
My Family Tree been in a long-running program with the Wyatt Six, who all got cut. Aleister Black and his wife have been featured for 3/4 of a year in undercard programs on SmackDown. Yeah. Apollo Crews was even brought back to television, working the big multi-man tag matches in all that. We've got individuals. It used to be if you were on TV in a program, you were safe. That is not the case anymore.
No, it's definitely they're working on.
If anything, it's more dangerous to be on television.
Oh, yeah. See how bizarre is that, right? You just saying that is just the most bizarre thing, period. And he follows them, whoever and everyone. I mean, there's rumors that even Roman Reigns, they want to redo his contract. And apparently, if not, what's up, Zach? Thank you for that. Even if he apparently disagrees with it, he wants out, apparently. And him dropping
I'm not buying that.
I'm not buying it either.
I'm not buying it. He just inked that new deal during WrestleMania weekend, and his is all the lucrative side of it.
Oh,
and if they knew what they were getting. Now, we did hear some rumors previous to the re-upping, the new signing, the new deal, that they wanted Roman Reigns to take a pay cut. But it's interesting you mentioned that, because I have that here as part of the transition in the conversation. So Roman Reigns' upcoming deal, or the deal that he just entered into, is $10 million a year for 3 years. Right. $30 million.
It's crazy.
With $125 per specialty appearance, and then in addition to his other incentives, merchandise, things like that, probably video games, all of those sort of things. Interesting to note, though, Roman Reigns pulled from all June Raw events. As he came out when that new deal was announced, he said, "Get used to me this summer. I'm going to be around." Now, suddenly, it looks like he won't be traveling to Saudi for Night of Champions. That could have just been a simple creative decision. Instead of bringing Roman in, we don't have a match for him there. Maybe don't, dedicate television time to him. But with TV shows that are struggling, you think you'd want your stars there doing at least something, building towards the next event, the next month. It's not, Cody's, not on this upcoming Backlash card this Saturday, but yet we're seeing build for him. And that I would be more inclined to believe a lot of reality in what we hear Roman preach on the microphone in his promos, and that is about being respected in the locker room, trying to be a leader, knowing that he has pull with who he is and being a draw. Rock might be in his ear. So any of the problems, issues we are hearing about with the OTC and TKO might be Roman trying to stick up for the boys and the girls for their paydays.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised by that. Or I'll play devil's advocate here, and this is not the case, but who knows with professional wrestling anymore? Could this all be one big swerve, and it's all done for Unreal? And really, we're going to see the New Day come back, and and everything's all done for Unreal, but like to turn it into a real life situation, just to fool everybody watching WWE and watching Unreal, where you think, oh, that was definitely real. Is there a possibility?
That's you going too far into the bubble, being an uber smart with it, because we've had those conversations. Who is that show made for?
Right, exactly.
The average show isn't watching that, but maybe there is some kind of point there. I don't think they're going that deep.
This is how big business works.
Where can we cut the bottom dollar? Where do we feel like we are overpaying? We have known for a long time. The parent companies here, especially with TKO, but it was even on the back end when Vince was there.
Right.
It is a cookie cutter system. They no longer, when they started calling everyone a superstar, no one was a superstar. They don't create any megastars. There really are no draws. It is
Not
the
anymore.
WWE brand, right, not exactly legit stars that they think that you want to come see. And when they go to these international markets, it's not about come see Cody Rhodes, come see Roman Reigns, Brock Lesnar, whatever the case might be. It's come see WWE.
100%.
So they feel that anybody and everybody can be eliminated at any time and easily replaced. Now, as we get into this week's reviews, we talk about the happenings on the Red and Blue brand. I think, their MO, their method of operation there, how they believe they're developing talents, completely misfire. They're doing a huge misserve. Speaking of, last week I asked you, do they still use the phrase WWE Universe? Or do they still use the term?
They don't. They don't, man. The more you
do they
point
still
that
use
out,
the phrase superstar? Because I don't even hear them refer to the superstars anymore.
I don't think so. The more, now that you, like last week, I never thought about it until you brought it up, but I made it a purpose to hear if they said it this week, and God damn it, Rick, I don't think they did. And superstar, now that's another one. I mean, that's been around forever, as long as we've known it.
Vinceisms.
Right, exactly. But I don't think they say that either, man. I don't recall. If anyone in the chat knows otherwise, please let us know. But I don't think they really mentioned it, man. So that's quite interesting that you picked up on that originally.
Yeah, so also some of the other names out there that we saw recently cut, because we were talking about being involved in storylines, being on television. Right. Tonga Loa and your boy Jeff Cobb.
My boy Jeff Cobb. Well, look, let's be real. I think we mentioned on this very show, maybe last week, that wouldn't surprise me if Jeff Cobb gets released. It just wouldn't surprise me. And what do you know? It happened. As far as Tonga Loa go, well, you can see the writing on the wall for him, especially, man. They weren't even putting him with his brother anymore. He was just there in the background. And talk about a guy that just seems like a nervous wreck and keeps just fucking up over and over in WWE. And I truly feel like it's because he's nervous, man. He's just walking on eggshells. He's probably overthinking everything that he's doing, to the point, when you overthink something, then you screw it up every time.
Maybe just doesn't have it. It takes a unique personality, ability to go out there to do it at that level, that style, just not meant for him. I did pitch yesterday an idea to Ben for these two to take to Mr. Russo, for these guys to show up in Juggalo Championship Wrestling with.
That'd be awesome.
PTSD, where they're freaked out about the face paint because they had to wear it in WWE and all the bad memories, or they hate that style, that black and white face paint, that they team up with Vito to eliminate all black and white face paint out there. But,
that'd be hilarious, man. If they did that, that'd be awesome, man. For our sake, anyway.
But another thing there, it does seem like anyone's safe here, and if you're getting a push, you're on television, you're not safe. I would be more worried, hey, we need you on TV this week, and you're kind of like, is this my last go around? Is this your final meal before your last supper before going to the executioner?
I mean, you would feel that way. I know I would, even if I was on television all the time. And like Dan Heffron says, my guess is Tonga or Solo that had a push and he cut either of them when they cut their group. Could it be them that got 50% less money? One of those guys.
I think somebody like Solo is probably protected inside the bloodline.
He's a Roman,
it is a reality of the issue. It's such an attraction. You got to keep something there with it. He's great muscle, great size.
Yeah, I think he's all right.
For Solo.
Right.
I don't know. Right now, you never can tell with what kind of moves they're going to make. I don't think they really hold any value for any of these talents, and believe that they all are replaceable week to week. They can just drop and move in any direction. And we're going to be talking about any direction here, Jimmy, as we let's go ahead and get into our SmackDown breakdown.
We have
from last week. A few disappointments for me on this show as they come to us from Tulsa, baby. Jimmy, the birthplace of Goldberg.
The original, not Atlanta.
Yeah, where he was actually born and raised there. Makes his second home there in Atlanta, where he found his fame. But you said SmackDown wasn't really hitting it for you this week.
It just wasn't, man. It wasn't. You know, you were telling me before I watched it that it pretty much sucked. I was listening to the Monday Locker Room as well, and you know, even Ben said it sucked. And no, you guys aren't influencing my decision to say it sucked. I watched it still after you guys mentioned that, and I just felt like, boy, did it suck. I mean, you guys were right. I mean, look at it. The Ricky Saints thing. We'll get to that anyway, but I just feel like, other than the Danhausen stuff, that is the most entertaining thing right now on all of SmackDown right now by far.
Danhausen right now is the most entertaining thing in professional wrestling because it's unique. It's different. You know, he dares to step outside of that box. It's not the norm. It's something that people you should be able to have fun in no matter what sort of entertainment that you're kind of diving into. And Danhausen offers that, where everything else is cookie cutter. Everything else is replaceable, because it feels like you're watching the exact same thing segment after segment. So I didn't necessarily dislike SmackDown. There's so many cases in recent programming where I just feel so let down. Again, they're only trying to produce it like 30% when the product could be so much more. And we realize it as a viewer. And not just, you know, the pros like Ben and Vet, just like the talking heads like us, just like the fans that are tuning in. I'm having these conversations with people that just tune in weekly that are asking, like, why aren't they getting more out of this product? And there's everyone's seeing that across the board. That's just not for insiders. The uber smirks. That's all the fans are starting to notice this. And that's a real problem with your product. And the show basically starts off that way. And we'll talk about that. We're going to get things going here with one of the big stories happening over on the Blue Brand. And of course, that's going to revolve around our WWE champion. As Cody is out there, he's come to Tulsa with some big news, some good news. He came to Tulsa to talk to WWE officials and the medical team to find out if he was going to be cleared. And that's what they told him. And he is ready to get back to business, defending that championship, fighting for the masses, for the people. And Cody, you asked where you're going to get it, because he gets a new challenger or challengers here as Cody is out there cutting his opening promo. Jimmy, are you ready? Chat, are you ready for the revolution? Ricky, let me ask you here. Which one should we go with? Ricky Silence? Sil-AINTS? Or we'll just put them together and it's Ricky Sil-AINTS. Because when that music hit, brother, I don't know. I had to check my volume. I thought I had it on mute.
Oh boy.
That arena was dead.
It was dead, and I felt embarrassed for the guy, dude. I'm not gonna lie. No one gave a shit. As soon as he heard that there's a revolution, see you later, man. Everyone just went to sleep. Complete napped on him.
It again is a disconnect where TKO WWE thinks their audience is at. We see this time and time again. When are they not going to open their eyes and recognize it, that not everybody watching Raw, watching SmackDown, I'm not saying not everybody, a good portion of that audience has no clue what is happening in your development. Sure, you got that great deal on the CW. They're going to start carrying your PLEs. You are broadcasting development around the globe. But your main core audience watching the main roster is unfamiliar with these talents. You are doing nothing to introduce these talents to a broader audience, to make them feel important. This is a perfect example here. Ricky Sil-AINTS comes out to silence. Right. No one knows who he is. He's doing his pose down in all this. He comes out, interrupts the promo. What did I tell you? The vibe, the energy. I don't know where he got this from. He reminded me of a young Chris Jericho, if Chris Jericho was representing the LGBT community.
You did. I'm glad you said it, because I kid you not, as soon as I heard him talk about what did he say that really got me? Oh, at the end of his promo, is what really hit home about what you told me.
These promos that they wrote for these kids this week.
Man, yeah, you're right. You hit the nail on the head to the point where I totally agree with you. At first, when you told me, I laughed. But then when I saw it, I'm like, damn it, I can totally see it. Even with what he was wearing, dude. It was a throwback to 97 or 98 or 99.
Either that or like Saints was all prepared to go out there and do his rock shtick. But just like the day before or the morning before, he went to a local Tulsa theater and watched the Michael movie. It was like The Rock meets Michael Jackson is what he was doing out there. I don't know what was happening in that promo. But, all right, so this is where we have seen this is the third call up in 2 weeks. We saw Sol Ruka come out and challenge a champion in a meaningless match. Yes. We saw JC Jane, correct? She's come out and went toe-to-toe with a champion in a meaningless match. And now we do the same here with Ricky Saints comes out and challenges Cody Rhodes for a match that evening. I was thinking, hey, maybe we're going to do this at Backlash. Give us a week or two of build. Let us know who Ricky Saints is.
Build up Ricky, right. Exactly.
Let us know who he is, this brash young cocky guy like Jericho that arrived onto the scene, making a big splash. But we get right into the match later in the evening. Let's talk about that match. Cody defeats Ricky Saints. Welcome to the show, kid. You're supposed to be this big deal. And I know it's against Cody Rhodes. They're thinking it's the rub. Did he went out there and gave it his best? Because inside this match, they give him some moments where he's looking like that show off. He's getting Cody out a few moves and doing like the lay down there in the middle of the ring. These two got great history, trained together.
They're very close as well, right?
Very, very close friends. Brady said, I don't know who to root for. It's my husband versus my nephew, in a way. So you get a good little match out of them here. But we see 50-50, stars putting over, newcomers, mid-carders, all of that over and over. Why does this make him look impressive? This doesn't do anything for him. Again, welcome to the show, kid.
It done nothing for him. It did not make him look impressive. I didn't care if he went 50-50. Shame on you, Cody, for even allowing that, even though, yes, he's one of your best buds and whatnot. That doesn't mean you have to fucking give him 50% of the match. I mean, come on. What? But yeah, he didn't put him over either. It's not like is he over after losing to Cody?
No, he wasn't overcoming this. He is no better off in any way.
Exactly.
Right. I thought, hey, a nice little interruption. Hey, you guys, there's a big show coming up. I want to show up big time in Tampa, the big town of Tampa. The nightlife. It's going to be about Ricky Saints. And then you got last week and this week to Saturday night. Give me something to introduce this kid. Then have the Smoshman. Now, here's the other thing. Why do you got to put the kid down? Why do you have Ricky Saints lose when immediately following the match, we find out who Cody's real challenger is going to be, and that is the ring general Gunther.
That's
out of nowhere goes in there and chokes out, puts the choke out on the Homelander Cody Rhodes.
That is one bizarre decision that WWE have made that just does not make sense, bro. Like, come on, man. Why? It's because you can't find anything for Gunther to do on Raw, so now you have to bring him on SmackDown. Yeah, exactly, Dark Side. I agree.
Well, a few thoughts on this real quick. Let me ask you, though, because you're kind of saying, okay, why this pivot here? One of the things that I think is interesting is obviously a swap. Gunther for Fatu. You've got Fatu going over to challenge Roman, the top guy, and now you've got Gunther going for Cody. And I was asking myself that same question. I really think this is a big test for Gunther. This is how good are you, dude? Because what is WWE trying to push harder than anything? They're trying to continue to establish, to keep Cody elevated as that top babyface.
Right.
So you need someone that's so damn good that in any case can go out there and generate heat. As much as people love and respect Drew, he was good at that. He could go out there and get you to boo him. We just saw it majorly backfire with Randy Orton. The crowd overwhelmingly wanted Randy Orton. Cody Rhodes was getting booed out of buildings. They were chanting for his blood for him to get his head kicked off.
100%.
Yeah, that's the crazy part about it. So are they relying on what is going to be this reaction? Is Gunther good enough to continue what he's always done? Because he has been a heat magnet, a heat machine these last couple of months. Can he go out there and the real job continue to put Cody Rhodes over as this undeniable babyface?
I think he is good enough to do that, and it's a great point that you just brought up, though, Rick, because that is so obvious is exactly what they're doing. So they get the fans all cheering for Cody all over again, and we're going to pretend we're going to forget that he was getting booed out of the building. Now, Gunther is good enough to do that, but when you do it like out of the blue like that, and like you said, is it a swap between him and Fatu? I would agree with you on that. The only problem is we see Fatu on both shows anyway. So until I see otherwise, I'm not sure they even know what the hell they're doing. Gunther would just have that match and then he's back on Raw. Who the hell knows? But as far as Gunther being good enough, I do think he is good enough. Is it going to work in the long run for Cody? I don't know, man.
The crowd reactions here are going to be very interesting to watch. And I think Gunther, he's so good in everything that he does that he will be able to, as much as we know how good he is, as you have that fan respect for the work that he puts in. He is the ring hero. That is not a gimmick with him. It is the truth. But it's going to be interesting to watch these reactions with him and Cody and how they handle this creative. Ultimately, again, we're kind of left with that asking why from Gunther. You know, why did you go after Seth Rollins? Why and what are you looking for in a favor from Paul Heyman?
Yeah, are we going to forget that now suddenly?
And now seemingly out of nowhere, we're going to the well where he's coming after the WWE Championship.
Why though? Like, you know what I mean? Again, it all comes down to the whys. And now that favor that he wants from Paul Heyman, well, it's not Brock Lesnar anymore unless you bring him out of retirement. That's how you do it somehow.
I don't think
right.
I don't think that'll happen. That's also another topic of conversation when we go back to the issues with the top office, cutting payroll and all that. Brock Lesnar might see the direction of this company and not want anything to do with it.
Oh,
he might know if they're going to everybody and asking people that are getting TV pushes and all that. Maybe, Brock is going to see significant cuts, but you got to believe they're going to want to lower that somewhere. He might say, hey, it's something I don't want to have to deal with any of this. So I'm out of here. I'm washing my hands of this.
I think he's done the right thing. If he saw the writing on the wall, which I'm sure he has, absolutely he's done the right thing. He's not going to play ball like that. There's no way he'd take a pay cut. But as far as that favor now, does that go out the window, Rick?
Probably
because what could it possibly be now?
Well, you can always just enlist the services of Paul Heyman, use that help to get a championship. We could see Paul maybe working both brands. And I don't think, with Jacob Fatu working both brands, I think that's to spread interest across both shows with one of the main storylines being the Civil War, the dissension inside of the bloodline. Coldplay, they're talking about the Janelle Grant thing. I think internally, that's a bigger deal with fans than schmarks, than anything else. I don't think inside the company they got much concern with it.
No chance.
I think it's just over exaggerated by us Uber fans that are really examining all this stuff. But hey, while TKO and WWE are taking money, Danhausen, he's just finding it. Miz and Kit are handing it out. Danhausen finds 400 human monies, $400. He's ecstatic. We get a segment backstage. I know that it's kind of this. I like this one because it was like something out of Looney Tunes. Like they ordered this from the Acme store. Acme store.
Brilliant.
And they have a briefcase set up, which is a sign that says free human monies. And Kit and Miz are talking about it when Danhausen comes up. He's going to open this thing and he's going to get sprayed with like a gas or a mist. And then Miz and Kit finally can get their hands on him and have him reverse these curses here. Danhausen, he's coming. So they hide real quick. Danhausen walks up. Ooh, free human monies. Well, obviously you could see it, man. Stacks of hundreds that he's got in his hand. They're saying $40,000, right? Is what the Miz said. So Danhausen takes the cash and he wants to celebrate. He's going to treat the fans. He goes to the merch stand and buys some of his merch. And later in the show, he goes out to the ring and he's throwing out the merchandise. Well, here comes Miz and Kit. Miz wants his money back, but it seems that Miz has come to his senses. He realizes that the curse is real and he wants to make amends, to call things even maybe begin a friendship with Danhausen. Kit Wilson comes out, though, and he's telling the Miz, his mentor, don't do this. This is the wrong move. You can't do this. And Miz is still reluctant, telling Kit, no, we got to make amends. We need this guy on our side. We've got to get rid of this curse. Even to the point, Miz shakes Danhausen's hand, Jimmy. Looks like we've got a new blossoming friendship.
Mizhausen.
It was all Mizhausen. It was all ruse. It was all a ruse. The heels take advantage of the situation. They have finally not just tricked Danhausen, they have trapped Danhausen, and they jump him. They beat him down. The heels they get their moment. They're feeling kind of good. But this just prompts Danhausen to request a tag match at Backlash. It's going to be Miz and Kit versus Danhausen and a mystery opponent. Hold off on your choices for the mystery opponent. Chat, hold off. Stay with us as we're going to talk Backlash at the close of the show. And I want to hear your picks, some creative picks about who should tag team with Danhausen there. But what'd you think about the Danhausen and Miz and Kit segments on SmackDown?
It was brilliant. It was brilliant. Yeah, it was a little bit childish, in some ways, right? I can understand if people didn't like it. But God damn it, this show in itself was not entertaining compared to this. This was entertaining. Like, this was funny as hell. The only thing I didn't like is Danhausen suddenly like a dumbass suddenly. Like, he really fell for Miz being his friend suddenly. Come on. I wouldn't have bought that if I was Danhausen for 1 second, if you know the Miz's history, of course. And I can understand, Frank, why you'd feel that way. Maybe it is AI that's doing all this. That's why we're getting random stuff after all. You never know, Rick. You never know, Rick.
No, Danhausen would fall for something like this because he wants to be their friends. He wants to be a part of that. And he's been pushing that. So you think, okay, I finally, I think in some ways in Danhausen's mind, Miz isn't this angry at him. Isn't this aggravated?
Right, I see what you mean. Right.
That he sold that in the house. You're thinking, hey, I belong here. We're all great people together, so. So Danhausen segments again, best thing on wrestling television. I think at Backlash, that's the match that I'm looking for the most. We're going to talk about that in coming up here in a little bit as we get through the rest of this week's TV headlines. But speaking of tag teams, we had some tag team action on this week's SmackDown, Jimmy. The tag team champs, again, they're giving out opportunities. Open challenges, if you will.
Everybody is in this company, it seems.
Yeah. So this week's the champs, R-Truth and Damian Priest. They go over on Fraxium. Match kind of is what it is. Fraxium kind of getting in their high spots. I did like how in this thing you really saw Damian dominating with his power.
As he should.
There was a lot of speed from the other guys. R-Truth doing. They did do the thing where Damian was on the outside and R-Truth couldn't keep up with the speed of Fraxium. So the champs are kind of down and out here. Priest comes in with a big power to bring the team back. But I guess this is really more about the post-match is we get Tala Tonga and Solo. They come in and destroy everybody, take everybody out, kind of still showing their dominance inside of that tag division. Thoughts on the match and just that part of the post, because we do have more with the post match.
As far as the match goes, I don't know, man. I didn't really care about it. It didn't really do anything for me. It was obvious who was going to win. I don't know if I even like this Truth Priest tag team, to be honest with you. Do they really have chemistry when you think about it? Sure, they're all right in the ring, but as a tag team, do they really have chemistry?
Yeah, I think there's a lot of potential. They seem to have fun working with each other. I think this is, again, to helping Damian with that character work, let him out of a show where not everything's got to be the Puerto Rican Undertaker kind of, seriousness. He's having some fun with it. There's nothing to do in that tag division. So, I mean, these guys are kind of a placeholder for it. and you get somebody out. Now, I would say when we're talking about if you get TV time and you're worried about contracts and cuts, maybe Fraxium falls into that category.
Oh boy! Imagine that. Imagine that. I mean, it wouldn't surprise me one bit, man, because they easily can be on the chopping block. I agree with Cold Blooded when he says it feels so forced between.
I would agree with that a little bit.
Priest.
Cold Blooded talking about the chemistry there. He's saying no chemistry at all. It feels forced there. I think in some ways, and again, where it's coming out of your shell, learning there on television, where Priest is trying to get up to the speed with Truth.
Right. That's true. You can see that too. That's maybe another issue that I have. You can totally see that. I don't know if that's intentional or not, which it probably is anyway. Like you said, to get him up to, build some sort of character work.
Helping him out here.
Right.
You look at everything with Priest. There was a little up there at age, but hey, a lot of their main eventers are up there in their 40s.
Most of them
there's
in their
some money
40s.
out here.
Right, absolutely. No, there's most of the upper card is in their 40s. And don't get me wrong, they're still great, all of them. But yeah, they need to start pushing some new stars, which they have. Obviously.
Well, we need to learn how to build some new stars. We're going to check those boxes here in a moment. But we have to post there. Solo grabs the mic. He puts Jacob Fatu on site. He tells Jacob that he took out the family. The reason that there's only two of them standing there is because of Jacob's actions the week before, where he just went out and devastated, just cut down, went lumberjack style all over my family tree, cut them all down. The only two left standing are Tala and Solo, so they're coming for blood. They're coming for Jacob. It is going to be on site. That prompts the Uso brothers, Jay and Jimmy, come out. They put Solo in his place. They say, hey,
they did.
There's bigger plays to be had here. This isn't about Solo and Jacob. The bigger picture is Roman, what the OTC, what he has in store, what his dealings are with Jacob Fatu. This sets up what happened in the main event segment for the evening. We have Solo and Tala defeating the Usos. Of course, this comes by DQ, Jimmy. When Fatu does show up in the building again, the werewolf unleashing. Going crazy, man. Just taking everybody out, showing that he seems unstoppable right now. Put Tala on the table, right? And that's what caused the DQ there.
Yeah, exactly.
Costa gives the win to some of his family and takes the win from some of his family here. I guess big picture here. Again, this is about putting Fatu over, building up that hype. And I like that they're using both shows. We got a storyline that we need to watch, both programs to be invested in, getting hyped up for it. They're big. And it was relatively short notice here because we're going to have it this Saturday at Backlash in Tampa. Where do you see, where's the new direction for Solo? Where does he fit into potentially this renewed bloodline program?
That's a good question. I do like the pairing of him and Talatanga, but I think for whatever reason it works. I don't know why, but it just does. So I don't mind that. As far as Solo goes in the future with the bloodline storyline and whatnot, I'm not sure yet, to be honest, Rick. They haven't given us a clear direction of where he's going with all of them right now, to be fair, to be honest. I mean, we haven't, because with the releases and whatnot, it's kind of, put a bit of a, I don't know, like a little bit of a wedge right now on what to do in the future. I really don't know. I can't answer that question. I mean,
we talk about it, right? And this ties in, and there are overlapping parts as the gears are turning. You love it when they kind of interact together to push the machine forward. And we're talking about it, as Cold Blood says, Solo is in such a weird position. I'd like to maybe see him. You keep that relevance, that wild card in the bloodline storyline. He can always get inserted somewhere. He can kind of drop in every now and then when you need maybe a different perspective. Someone to take a bump with that. But we also saw an interaction. I think this would be a great real program going forward for Solo and Tonga and Tala. And it also is a much needed direction for a new young talent. We saw Jacob Fatu and Royce Keys interacting on this show and showing some respect for one another. Right. They've known each other for 12 to 14 years coming up. They both finally arrive, have their moments. Royce looking for that breakthrough, his next big step, debuted at the Rumble, wins the Andre the Giant. Now where does he go? And he's telling Fatu, man, he told him, unleash that werewolf, go take what's at the head of the table. I wouldn't mind a SmackDown mid-card program now between Tala and Solo versus Keys. I think that could be kind of interesting.
So you insert him into this.
No. They work their own thing. They work their own thing.
Side quest.
This is just where you've got pieces moving, and they occasionally those wheels, those gears come together.
Right.
But you've got their own story kind of going on, but things can work together. And then that gives the heels have the number against the big man. You've got a giant that he's got to take down, and a manipulator and a dirty player with Solo.
All right, but is that good for Tala Tonga right now to say lose to a Royce Keys, do you think?
Yeah, there's more money on Keys right now.
Oh, absolutely.
There's way more money and potential going forward with Keys than there is Tala Tonga.
And do you even have possibly Jacob and Royce Keys actually tag teaming together against the Tongans? Possibly.
That is something you could revisit, where those gears kind of intertwine at certain times.
Right.
That you've got a specialty week where he pops over and says, "Hey, you need a partner? I've got you on this one."
Right.
Because obviously, when we get into the backlash conversation and all the rumors swirling around, if Roman is happy, we even heard that, hey, he would be willing to drop the title at Backlash, and Roman going to be off television during June, which means if he retains, that championship goes away. So where does Jacob go from that? What is his direction?
Yeah, that's not good. If he does go away with that championship belt, it puts everybody in a sort of flux. You know what I'm saying, Rick? Which is not good. So
it's cold-blooded saying again, and I think this is great with this. It's cold-blooded saying the Fatu Key segment really got his attention. I think it caught a lot of people's attention.
Right. Well, if he does take off that's where you go.
Well, they told the story about their history. So it's not necessarily they got to go full go together, but now we've got that in our mind. We've got characters that histories are working together, that when we need storylines can overlap. So now that we talk about it, I would get excited for Keys versus Solo with Tala. There is that muscle, because it gives a big baby face like Keys a major mountain to overcome. And he needs direction. These call-ups need direction. And for Keys, he's been floundering since Royal Rumble. They don't know what to do with him.
Right.
Let's get him into something personal. Let's get him with something going here. I think this could be the perfect gateway. Just this small conversation that they've shown has opened the door for that. I think it'd be a great step for him.
And at least with Keys, they've been actually showing us vignettes and stuff like that when he hasn't been wrestling and whatnot. So at the very least, they've done that for him compared to others.
Of the vignettes, his are best. If they were going with that heartfelt, like the Jacob thing, like coming up from the streets, all of the devastation that he has experienced and overcome, they should have been regularly playing parts of that Stephanie McMahon sit down that he had, it was part of his real story that's going to connect with the audience. But Jimmy, as we switch gears, let's talk as we regularly do. We break them down. The Blue Brand women's division had quite a bit going on this week here. This is one of my major letdowns, my disconnect. I asked you, did I totally space out and miss this? They were advertising, promising the debut of Blake Monroe, and I'll admit it. I'm a Monroe maniac. I'm on board. I'd like to go all the way back to stuff when Mariah May was doing it, All Elite Wrestling.
Absolutely.
She was a reason I would tune into NXT. Obviously, a beautiful blonde bombshell. It's a goddamn English accent gets me. I like watching those Blake's bites. Tied in a hashtag RBV eats out. So she got a little bit of that foodie display there with her. I thought, believe me, all we got was a video package. Another useless video package that does nothing to hype up, to put these talents on a pedestal.
Rick, what the hell is going on? Isn't this twice now they've gone back on their promises about someone debuting or something that was meant to happen in recent times, and they go back on it? Why on earth have they gone back on it? Like, what's the problem? We're not
Did
even
they
hearing
feel maybe
anything
that
either.
did they feel that there was too many women segments on the show? Did they feel that there wasn't enough time? Because I could easily tell you where you could cut a bunch of BS
Oh,
out of these shows.
an understatement.
Here was a segment that really didn't do a whole lot, but it was Tippy Time's birthday girl in the house, and the gifts that she thinks that people should be bringing her are challengers coming for opportunities to get in the ring with her. Chelsea Green rolls in. She has an offer. She wants to take her party, and she's going to have drinks and all that. Chelsea gets shut down there, but here comes the former champ, Julia, and her business manager, if you will, old person Buttes, Kiana James. See, I remember the name this week. I remember the name.
You did.
James says she is doing her job as Julia's representative, her business associate, and the former champ wants her rematch. But that's not going to happen, Jimmy. It's going to be James. James is going to get the upcoming match.
Yeah, that's going to obviously cause a bit of an issue between the two of them. You know what? Kiana James has earned that. I don't know if it was done on purpose or not, if it was purposely done. I don't think it was. I think it was spontaneous. She's managed to get over Julia. You know what I'm saying? Even so, I think she's earned this spot, man. And I can see a bright future for her.
And why? And why? Because of
character of her
beautiful gimmicks.
No,
a character, it's beautiful gimmicks. Sex still sells. You've got Julia dressed up like a reject Lost Boy from Peter Pan. And you got Person Boots out there flaunting everything.
Oof. Yeah, you're right. I mean, I try to stick up for Julia as much as possible, you know that, but I can't anymore, unfortunately. And I don't know if it's her fault or it's creative fault.
This was a call up that had no backup, no game plan in place. They thought we're going to roll her out because she's a wrestling machine. You just put her out there to fail.
Yeah, no, they screwed up on her, man. I mean, they got to remember who's their audience. And sometimes I feel like they forget what their audience is at times and expect everybody to just know who she is and what she is and where she came from. But clearly no one had any idea on who she was other than the super marquee fans. And unfortunately, that's not the biggest audience.
So who she is, was it going to get over in sports entertainment?
Probably not, because there's no real character to her, like in terms of, she needs to be able to speak more. Unfortunately, I hate saying that about the Japanese women, but she can speak, as in for a Japanese woman, in terms of English is not too bad. It's still pretty bad, but give us some sort of character direction. Explain again who she is.
All right, well, here's the problem. For failure, she needs a vocal correspondent. She needs a voice piece to help her out. Someone that can verbally grab the audience to let us know what she's about, to connect with. Here's an idea. Don't make it a drop dead, gorgeous brunette, athletic as hell, with great new gimmicks. You got to make it someone less appealing.
Right. Exactly. Spot on. And that's, how hard is it to do that? They should know this already, Rick.
You already got James talking. My focus is on her, what she's trying to put over about who she's representing. But now she's the complete focus. I don't even care what she's talking about, because I'm just it's kind of like when you had Awesome Kong. They didn't run out there some gorgeous, drop dead, all eyes on her. They put her out there in complete robe. So what you got it. Vicky Guerrero would be so great.
Great idea.
So many of this. I don't know if Julia would have done it. I would have gone with someone with more of the Japanese connection. Where I still would think that I would still love to have seen like Vicky Guerrero with Lash and Jax. I think that would have been such a magnificent pairing to get the heat there with the monster. That would have been great. Sure. So, I mean, somebody like Julia, I would have loved to seen like a throwback where you could have talked, where you could have got some of the old school fans. You could have told the story. Someone that understands a connection, how to work in the East to the West.
Elijah Blaze say.
but she's still too good looking. I would have gone with someone like a Sonny Ono.
Oh yeah, that'd be great, but yeah, that's not happening.
Or there's plenty of
Sonny Ono, but would have been a great idea.
Asian wrestlers that could have represented her in that, but you don't want someone is the attention grabber that's going to outshine you when you're out there, and that's what it's happened.
Yeah, no, that's an interesting thought.
And James, I mean, James's background is she a gymnastics girl as well?
I think she is. As far I'm not to the level that Tiffy was though, but I think she's got some sort of background like that. Yeah,
I think she is. They love their gymnastics and they love their volleyball players in their new program.
I mean,
so in a future match, it's going to be James here, which I think we all agree with. Yes, that's going to be the divide growing apart there of the partnership between Julia and James.
Do you pair it with Asuka possibly before we move on? Maybe.
No, I'd have to sit and think. Maybe we'll come revisit. I don't know what that to do with her at this time. Budget cut.
Oh shit! You didn't just say that. You're gonna get heat from the boys, from the vet and Jaga for saying that now. Rick.
Let her go home. Let her go find something else. That's what I'd be pitching in meetings right now. We talked there about the irresistible forces. I've been wondering where the hell they've been since WrestleMania. They finally have made an appearance. They're back. They got their rematch. They are back to put over Paige and Brie.
I hated this, dude. Yuck.
Not just put them over. Brie pins. Which one did she get? Lash?
No, it was
she gets
Nia.
Nia. Okay, she gets Nia.
By pinning like putting her weight on top of Nia, thinking like Nia can't kick out of that shit. Get out of here, man. Not believable. It sucked.
The match is no good. Brie still has ring rust. Paige has ring rust. Here's another. I mean, we talk about the markability, a connection amongst eras and fans. I don't know what this tag team championship run with this Divas reunion is doing for anyone.
Yuck. It's yuck. It doesn't do anything. I don't think anyone cares. Like, really, I don't care. Like, I don't know how Nia and Lash Legend are losing to these two tiny ass friggin' women. I mean, come on, man. And especially the way that pin didn't sit well with me at all. Yeah. At all. Please, enough of the garbage.
This is one of those that you just have to hit pause and walk away and breathe for a moment and say, I'm going to come back and finish this show. I can't. This is one of those moments where it just doesn't make a whole lot of sense for you.
Yeah. Like Gruss said, man, it's exactly right. Ridiculous, man. Please, can we? It's insulting. Yeah, it is. Cold-blooded. He almost is insulting because it's just bullshit.
This is one of those in the back of your Nia, or that you just ask, like, creative, like, are you insane? Like, what are you thinking here?
I mean, these women need to talk up, man, because it's not believable. It's not realistic. It's just a load of crap, straight up. And I don't like it one bit.
Taking over the women's division, they had a big introduction. They've been butting heads with some big names. The champ, long time former champs, fan favorites, future Hall of Famers, if you will. I'm talking about Fatal Influence making a big splash into SmackDown this week. The leader of Fatal Influence, JC Jane, she picks up a big win, her second time out over a 14-time champion Charlotte Flair. I like the match. He said, hey, we said last week, we're going to see if you could step it up here, girl. Show us what you got. I like the match between JC and Charlotte. Obviously, we had the going in. Rhea said, hey, let me help you guys. Goes to Bliss, and Charlotte says, this numbers game is going to get you. I dealt with them last week. Numbers game got me. Let's even the odds. 3-on-3. We'll see how this plays out. Bliss, very welcoming, very thankful about Rhea offering to help out here, but Charlotte doesn't want it. I did kind of pop a little when she puts over. I know you guys got your little emo goth thing going here, but 3 is a crowd, So they go out there, 2 versus 3. The numbers game gets them. Charlotte gets distracted. JC gets the pinfall on Charlotte. the girls, Fatal Influence starts beating down the former women's tag team champ Charlotte and Bliss. Here comes Rhea for the save. Heels bail. They powder. We get a moment, a kind of intense moment there for a little bit between Charlotte and Ripley. But Charlotte extends her hand, thanks her. I'm guessing next week or so, we're probably going to get a 6-woman tag.
Oh, there's no ifs or buts about it, Ricky. That's exactly what we're going to get. I mean, look, it made itself, did it not? You got 3 of the other women, 3 of these women. But you just know that Charlotte's going to turn on Rhea eventually, and it breaks up everybody, literally.
I got a question here for Bruce. JC is doing better than JC. Than Jesus Christ?
Could it be JC Mateo he's talking about? I don't know, but let's be honest, though. JC, and I know Vet's not the biggest fan of hers, I think she's been pretty great since debuting. They're probably the only ones, them 3 women, are the only ones that are actually getting a decent sort of push right off
this round of
round. I mean, you can't really complain if you were them, that's for sure. A JC baked potato.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah. God. So hey, there somebody sees some purpose, that sees some potential here in Fatal Influence, because they're mixing it up. They're taking over these shows. They're getting multiple segments. They're in there with some big names.
Absolutely.
And like them or not, they are making these girls look like a big deal, where you're not getting with this other round of call-ups.
100%. I'm cool with that, man, because I think all 3 of them are talented.
Well, Jimmy, let's kind of bow our heads here. Just a quick moment of silence. Rest in peace to the gingerbread man.
Oh, God. Bro, this was... Oh, man, I can absolutely annihilate this segment, but whatever.
I was going to say, we'll say this is Sammy's out with a long-winded promo. A lot of talk to say just a little bit. But essentially, he's going back to that, why are you booing me? I'm the guy that does things right. I'm the textbook hero. Why are you turning on me? And he's kind of aggressively getting a little more aggressive in it. But then he ends up low blowing the gingerbread man, just trashes the entire thing. That prompts Trick to come out. So we get the exchange there. Trick said, hey, you put your hands on Yachty, you put your hands on the gingerbread man. That's Trick's money. You don't mess with Trick's money. We have the exchange and all that. Trick's got, has to get checked by medical. Long story short on this thing, Sammy gets his rematch coming up at Backlash.
First of all, I like the gingerbread man. I'm not gonna lie. I wanted to see more of gingerbread man with I suppose that Shrek hasn't sued them for using gingerbread man. I mean, it's a gingerbread man. You can't really get sued for that, I don't think. But anyway, I wanted to see more with Trick, Yachty, and the gingerbread man. I think it was kind of funny. Yeah, it's corny and tacky, but it's all right in this way, the way they were doing it. And he was gone too soon, just quietly. But this segment as a whole was just, ugh. I mean, the guy, Sammy punching him, ripping his arm off, and just destroying him. This just makes him look like a friggin' idiot. Makes everyone in this segment look like an idiot. Because they're fighting for the gingerbread man, essentially.
Hey, I was kind of turned off with this thing because, last week we talked about the marketing possibilities of the gingerbread man. You can start selling those things. You can have the ice cream bars there.
Idiots, bro. And the gingerbread man literally
doing fun things with the kids showing up, show up early for events, have the kids get their pictures with the gingerbread man, and they just go ahead and waste it immediately. Could have been some fun out of the box things to do with something that is so silly in professional wrestling. And I'm surprised they're not trying more things like that when they see the overwhelming success of Danhausen.
First of all, why aren't you part of their marketing team? Because they need someone like you to friggin' mention the most simplified shit. Because clearly they can't think of it, right?
Because I want 7 figs.
Well, you're worth it. I'm not just saying that to blow smoke. I truly mean that, man, because you've come up in the last few weeks with the most simplest ideas. And it's simple, right? But clearly, simple doesn't work in WWE. They just can't think of this shit. And he did look like a douche.
Bruce and Sammy lame. look like a douche. Hey, there's a market idea. We got the Sami Zayn douche.
Yeah. Rick.
Smells like gingerbread.
Rick, are they really that dumb, bro? For real? Are they that? Do they want to make money in this company? Apparently they do by restructuring all these contracts.
Well, they're cutting contracts and people are handing over wheelbarrows full of money to go to these events, to buy these special meet and greets, to buy this merchandise. But we continue to get nauseating crap creative like this.
Please explain, Rick. Explain what the I don't get it, TKO. I don't get you guys. You guys are weird, straight up.
I know a lot of people, jumped on the AI. They're helping it with creative. I think that means AI wouldn't even write something this bad.
Oh, you're probably right. You're probably
right. They wouldn't even write anything this bad. And I think, and I kind of dismiss the AI stuff because I think it means something completely different than saying write our show.
You're probably right as well.
It wouldn't even be this bad. It wouldn't be that bad. But okay, so all of this though, the long segment, the gingerbread man is gone. Sammy's long-winded promo, interaction with Trick. We are set for Backlash, and that's going to kind of wrap up our headlines from last week's SmackDown, the Blue Brand news. So we're going to switch them gears to last night. Omaha, the home of the College World Series, is hosting Monday Night Raw, coming at us here on Netflix. I got to tell you, the hype for this thing, what they had advertised, it looked like a nice little lineup on paper.
It did, absolutely.
It looked pretty good. And as we've seen the last couple of weeks, they come in the Raw this week on a hot start. Roman Reigns shows up to the building and he wants to take care of business. He wants to get that contract out of the way. He pulls up, gets out of his ride. I think this was just a little thing that I picked up on. Roman doesn't take the belt with him because it was there waiting for him.
True.
He didn't get out of the car with
That's
it.
Just
a little thing, so it's.
I didn't notice that.
Probably don't want to lug that piece of crap around.
I mean, apparently it is annoying to take through customs and shit all the time, so I don't blame him.
Right. So, like one of the funny rips back in the day, when Jericho won the Money in the Bank, he had to walk around with that thing. So he was just carrying his gear and all that. But Roman's
annoyed by that, man, for sure.
Roman's there. He wants that hot start. We're not going to wait to the main event. Roman always said, I go first or I go last. He's going to kick this thing off in a big way. It has turned very personal in the bloodline, the civil war that is happening there with the Samoan family. He's on his way in, but he stopped by Adam Pearce. Saying, hey, we can't do this. We're not going to do this right now. Roman wants to know why. Well, Fatu's not there. He is not in the building yet. He has not arrived. But as Roman turns around, he meets an old friend there, Jimmy. Seth freaking Rollins. I think, you get a big pop from the crowd. I thought it was a little interesting there as well.
Oh, definitely. I like that, right.
And Seth tells him, you're in my way. I like that little tease. So those are those gears we get turning where the stories, they kind of intertwine with each other. That takes us back to a feeling. We know that history. We know they're not necessarily doing anything tonight or anything like that, but it gets those endorphins. It pops those endorphins that get you excited for what's going to happen on the show. And burn it down. Seth hits through Gorilla, ready to go to the ring. I'm kind of sitting there thinking to myself, okay, last week we got that 20-minute open between those guys. Don't repeat that. And they don't. Breaker jumps him, breaks him from behind. He spears the spirit right out of Seth Rollins, man. And he's not done. Security's out there. They break it up. Breaker's right back through it, man. He is taking it to Seth, whooping Seth Rollins. The only thing with this, I enjoyed this open here. It's hot. There's a lot of energy. We're putting some fuel on that fire between these two. But let me ask you here, Jimmy. First, your thoughts on that overall breakdown. What are your thoughts on that overall breakdown before I get to my big question here about it?
I loved it. It was a hot beginning, like you said, man. Everything about it was great. I mean, that's the difference between Raw and SmackDown every week, it feels like. There's a different energy between the shows, man. And I felt like this was good. It made sense. Except poor Seth Rollins, man. He got an absolute beating by Braun. What is that? Braun Low Breaker is going down on the PLE. Yeah, well, more than likely, but we'll get to that. But no, Braun looks absolutely strong all throughout the show, and we'll get to that later. But I enjoyed it. I can't really say anything negative other than maybe things went a little too fast, I guess, with Roman and Seth, and then Seth just getting taken out right away. But at least, like you said, we didn't get that long-winded promo of Seth Rollins.
Well, so, but in this story, as we're watching this thing play out here, the Vision are supposed to be the heels. We're not supposed to like them here. And you have an overwhelming, it is very empowering, clear, that audience, one more time. That
was weird too, right?
People love just cheering the violence within WWE, and they are cheering for supposedly Seth Rollins, our babyface here, to get completely broken over and over.
Is this WWE's fault again? Are they making the same mistakes they were doing with Cody now with Seth for the most part, do you think?
Well, I think it's about recognizing the room. Because again, if they're just cheering the violence, then maybe you go a different direction with some things.
Right. Interesting.
You do get that hot start. That is kind of cool. But I mean, you wouldn't have, back in the day, if you had the corporation jump Austin, you wouldn't have them cheering for more to beat up Stone Cold. You're waiting for him to come back.
Right, exactly.
But society has changed so much. And, it's the same thing I've been asking every show I've been on. Does our society hate heroes now? Because it's so hard to be that traditional hero, or even like where Austin was a traditional hero, but we knew as a society, we didn't like authority. We were ready to rage against that machine and all that. Right. Now you can go out and ask 10 people what a hero is, and you're probably going to get maybe 10 different answers. You're at least going to get 7 to 8 different answers to it. So it makes it a little difficult when you're trying to present these characters and put together these different creative structures. I see that struggle for WWE. Yeah. I feel that. But Braun taking it too, man. And you're what you do is I know they're trying to tell that story of Seth now has to rise up above this. He is the architect. We've heard it, his interactions with the Street Profits, even on this. No one likes you. No one trusts you.
Right.
Seth has to rebuild that. And it seems now he doesn't have to rebuild it with the locker room with allies. He needs to rebuild that with an audience.
With the audience, exactly. Right. It's true, man. And that's the thing. But I just feel like, man, with everyone involved in all this, and again, we'll get back to it when we do. I don't know if I agree with everything. Some things don't really make sense with all this storyline. But as far as the Vons goes, do you feel like we're back in the 90s somewhat?
With what? I'm sorry, what was it?
With what the fans want, like they.
No, because I mean, we knew we kind of knew what fans wanted from a hero, and actually, Cold Blooded bringing up a good point here because I actually started looking into this.
Right.
It was Cold Blooded saying he honestly thinks that people would rather have a Homelander over a Captain America. When you look at these, because I'll admit, I didn't have any idea who Homelander was because I've been asking about this with Cody, the issue with trying to get Cody over, keep him over, especially during the Randy. So I looked into the character of Homelander, and I went and watched a handful, probably about a dozen videos comparing Homelander and Superman. People don't want Superman anymore. No. As they do, they seem to want this Homelander. But when you look at that comparison, Superman is a man of virtue that does things right.
Exactly.
Homelander is a freaking psychopath. Is out for himself.
Whenever there's a war going on,
hesitate to just destroy everything and everyone.
Absolutely.
Now, I think when we're talking about Cody, the girl saying that Cody Rhodes is Homelander, is he? I don't think that if they made a true commitment to make him Homelander, it might work. Right now, they're trying to have him be both. And that's where they're losing that connect. I got to watch The Boys. Someone send me a link to something on that. I'll check it out and study it. Because I think, that is, I mean, for these characters, we need to look at society and go in a direction. This character is going to resemble this individual and realize that they're going to generate different reactions from the audience. And it's going to be all about that individual experience. Cody was famously known for back at AEW saying, we can't create heels and babies anymore. We have to create characters and let people decide. I do believe that's true, but we need to commit to what those characters are. You can't just be a bunch of different personality traits, take a bunch of different qualities. It's not like a salad where you just throw everything together and you've got
No, absolutely not. Except with what Cody said, he's a bit of a hypocrite because he doesn't want people booing him anyway. And he doesn't want to turn to become a heel like he always uses that excuse.
I'm okay with that, but it's got to make sense. The Superman Captain America is not working right now. And it's even worse when you try to throw in their shades of Homelander. And when we talk about, going back here to Seth and the Vision, because we've got more to talk about. They had a few segments here. So we have Braun beating him up here. We talk about miscasting and not understanding something here. I got to tell you something, man. The Vision, as much as it's the big reaction it is to see the athleticism of Ron Breakker getting up there to 23 miles per hour, coming down that WrestleMania ramp, just blowing through Seth Rollins, going out there, spearing the hell out of him a couple of times. As cool as that is, character-wise, the Vision, across the board, Breakker, Paul, Theory, these guys are a bunch of dorks. These guys are absolute dorks. They're sitting there doing their duck. They're talking like ducks backstage. Get out of here. And Michael Coley put it over. Like, what is this? A frat house? That's what these guys.
That's what it is. That's what it fucking is.
Frat guys act like these guys should be.
They're
the cool. These guys should be the cool kid table. Yeah, the jocks that beat everyone up.
Right. That's what they are.
Better than everyone. You've got one of the most famous influencers in the world in Logan Paul. One of those recognized personalities in social media
right now too, dude.
Yeah,
my God.
But his personality, the personality he's portraying on WWE TV is nothing like the Logan Paul that the masses tune in for, that log into their social media, that follow him.
You're right.
You need to replicate that. And who would be a great sidekick for that Logan Paul? The Austin Theory that we had before, the good-looking brass stud that's put together, that's like a blueprint of a God's gift of wrestling. But no, now he's trying to be a freaking he's the Garcia Death Rider version of himself. That doesn't make any sense. They are so miscast. And Braun Breakker should just be all about being that athletic badass. We don't need you trying to pop us with your little duck imitation and all that BS. You don't have to sit there and mock someone. You just go out there and kick ass. That's what you are. They are so miscast. This group could be at the forefront, a crossover group that people want to buy merchandise about, that want to live vicariously through the Vision, that want to rally. I mean, that could be a huge merchandise seller, but these guys are freaking dorks. How does Paul Heyman not see this?
Yeah, no, you're right.
How is Paul Heyman not correcting this?
Does he see it? That's again, I asked this question because, like I said before, can they not read the room? Do they not see the simple shit anymore? Has anyone forgotten? This is why I keep asking this question, because it freaking feels that way. You know what I'm saying? But you're right. It's a great freaking point. What's their characters? Crybabies?
Dorks. That's what they are. They are dorks.
Well, there you go. We got the dorks, the Vision of dorks. You hit that on the head, man. We do
also have on this show, we have got dork number 3, Austin Theory. He is taking on Joe Hendry.
Wow.
And that's because Logan Paul
too, by the way.
Paul Heyman doesn't want Logan Paul to get suspended, get arrested, or anything like that. He just wants to keep things cool. So he's sending Austin Theory out to take on Joe Hendry. So they have their match. Hey, I know you're not a big fan of this one, but the crowd is eating it up. The Fire Logan Paul concert.
Yeah.
We kind of get an encore of that, a little mini version again out there of Joe Hendry with the sing-along. This prompts Logan Paul to come out. He loses it again. You know, you can't fire me. You can't fire me. I'm untouchable. Which it's still like, it's like a rib that you got all these cuts that Logan Paul's out there.
Yeah, I know. And that didn't sit well with me. I didn't like that, man, because you could tell it was a freaking rib. Literally, like, it's obvious as well. I mean, he's saying it. But you know what stood out to me in this? How out of shape Joe Hendry truly looks amongst all these guys, man.
This match was, and this is like a regular thing I notice in the Hendry matches, is they have a lot of trouble finding a flow. Like, he doesn't have much rhythm with a lot of people.
Overrated, dude. He's overrated. I hate to say it's the same shtick too. Even the way his matches are, it's the same sort of routine, like you're saying. And yeah, I agree with Kenny. I mean, he's a one-trick pony. Danhausen is better at improv than Joe Hendry is. What improv does Joe Hendry really do anymore other than these silly songs that are just not over anymore?
Like this is our case. Where did he ultimately get over? I mean, he's gotten over everywhere, but that big breakthrough was like when he released the things on like iTunes and stuff, right?
Right. And it like was on stage.
Like over to Europe, I mean, it was like the topping the charts and all that. So when you're introducing him to this main roster, why are we even focusing on the wrestling right now? This should have been like up until SummerSlam, just like a series of concert appearances, PR stuff, and then sell it, then as one of the spectacles of SummerSlam is the Joe Hendry, his biggest concert of his life, right? Or something like that. That now we've done something unique with him that's not like every other superstar, bow to bow, move sets, rope work, dorks.
Yeah.
But no, now we're throwing him right back in there. And even his announcement, it wasn't like anything grand. It was, he's going to be here next week for a concert. Like, why should we tune in for this? You should have told us about the chart topper and shown it. Like,
I didn't mention it.
Stage some things with him going out, or hey, during our pre-shows where he's doing concerts for me. You don't have any of that. There's nothing unique about this. And now you have Joe Hendry. He goes over by disqualification here in this match when Logan Paul gets in. The heels are beating him up, Theory and Logan. Well, here come the Street Profits. So now I've got my attention here is really on the Street Profits chasing the tag team champions and the tag team championships to reclaim them.
Right.
Joe Hendry becomes like this extra wheel that we don't need.
We don't need, and he looks out of place too, mind you. When you see him all together in the back after this segment, he just doesn't suit. And again, he needs to get into better shape, dude. I don't care what anyone says. He looks like a friggin' fatty compared to everyone else. I hate to say it, but in saying that, man, the Street Profits, do we need them in this?
Well, I mean, we need something in this tag division. I think they're good challenges for it. The crowd loves them. This is something for them. We didn't have anything for them for a better half of a year. So, I mean, they're back on television. They look good. So they're out there to even the odds. Here comes, you alluded towards this. Here comes Braun Breaker again, and he just beats, he destroys everybody again. Hey, I do want to put over kind of a wow spot, though, when Montez Ford did the suicide leap over the corner post.
That was weird because it put off
Rollins. Air on that.
He did, but then it put off Rollins, and then Rollins got speared to death.
Well, yeah. So then you have Breaker down there. Here comes Rollins again. So you got a melee out here. We got what 6-7 people out here.
At least, yeah. Easy.
Going at it here, the Vision versus the baby faces in all of that. But really, again, standing tall at the end of this, Braun Breaker.
He's a machine, bro. This made him look really strong, man.
This is what he should be in his presentation. Just high intensity. I don't need him trying to be a smart aleck, trying to get little jokes in his duck talk or whatever. No,
dude,
this should be him at all times.
Absolutely, I agree. But when he clotheslined friggin' Dawkins, man, he literally took his head off, man.
Yes,
that's what people want. I love it. I love seeing that. I'm not gonna lie, that is cool, absolutely cool. But god damn it, man, he really does not hold back.
And he doesn't need to be cutting the promos in all of that. You've got Paul Heyman right there. You've got Logan Paul right there. Exactly. He doesn't need the microphone. He speaks with his actions. That speaks louder than anything when it comes to him.
Oh, no, I agree 100%. I mean, he's just fun to see killing everyone, really.
Well, character-wise, they're presenting the Vision as dorks. Let's maybe talk about some other dorks here on the Raw roster.
Who's next?
We got continued dissension within the Judgment Day, Jimmy T.
Yeah. Let's just get over. Can we get over this already? Like, can we just get this shit done?
You know what? I do want to put this over. Professional wrestling has been on television for how long? 60, 70 years since we've had television.
Right.
Liv Morgan has cracked the code. She has finally figured it out. If you watch last week's show, you could figure out what people are doing backstage and how they're talking about you.
Oh yeah,
So
I was gonna say I wrote that in my notes. Thank fucking God, bro. Netflix.
She has cracked the code. She has figured it out.
Bro.
If you watch last week's show, you can figure out what people are saying about you. You can figure out who's gonna stab you in the back because she watched last week's Raw on Netflix and she figured out that Roxy was talking to Finn in the clubhouse.
Why did it take 70 years at least? No shit, man. For someone to point out the friggin' obvious. That's what stood out for me too. I wrote that in my notes, and God damn it, I was like, hallelujah. And then you bring it up now. It just made me so happy because it's true. Why did it take 70 years for someone to break the code, Rick?
She's done it.
Can someone tell me?
Liv Morgan has been telling us she is the greatest. She is the greatest. She has broke the code. She has figured it out.
I bowed down to it.
And you know what? I'm going to give her extra credit because she suffered through watching the product just like we did to figure this out. That Roxy is having secret meetings in the clubhouse, sneaking a boy into her bedroom when everyone else is gone. But Roxy swears, Roxy pledges her loyalty to the Judgment Day. Also got in my notes, how freaking short is Roxy? Jesus Christ.
My
like
God.
Dwarf size?
Dude, I noticed that Liv Morgan
Liv
was like
is tower. Yes.
Like, are you kidding me? Yeah. Is she really that small, man? My God, because Liv is small.
Yeah.
But goddamn, Roxanne must be a midget.
Yeah. Liv's got that crystal ball. She's in the future. She's got she's paying for that premium Netflix. No commercials.
100%. I'm so happy she said that.
She knows what's going on. But we do get a match there. JD McDonough takes on his mentor, his trainer, Finn Balor. Yeah, these together, these guys are two-time former tag team champions. We know their history. They came up together. Balor training JD. So the match itself, these guys know each other. It's a good little match. You know, back and forth. They did a lot of in the middle of the ring stuff with each other.
Right.
You pointed this out last week. The weird, sleazy attitude. It was almost like we talked about that guy from Leave It to Be There, Wally, the next door neighbor, Wally Haskell. That weird attitude from Finn that really continued in this week. You know, he's shaking the hips, taunting his opponents, the crowd. It's not what he was preaching of doing things the right way and honorably going out there and getting wins. Are they just trying to draw a clear line of a difference between Finn Balor and the Demon? Is that what they're just trying to go, like, just so drastic of a change in personality?
Are they smart enough to even think that way, Rick? Going by what we've been talking about,
this personality the last couple of weeks from Finn, to me, it's off.
It's a little bit.
It's a turn off.
It's a little bit, if you know what I mean. Yeah, not only is he a sleazy guy, are we going back to finish for everyone again? Is that what's happening? Do you remember that?
But I do kind of have that, where is the direction here for Finn? It's JT. What is his ceiling if he breaks out on his own? But in the match, Judgment Day comes down here. They're getting involved in it. This is another weird move by the agent here. So Dominic gets involved a couple of times. They hit a rope spot, a leg trip. Dominic gets kicked out from ringside. Why not just throw the entire group out? They're all doing something. So they kick Dominic out, and then Liv gets up on the ring apron with nothing going on. She throws a hammer to Roxy. It goes over and crushes Finn in the head and lets JD get the pin. Why did they not just kick out the entire Judgment? It's just there was little things in your head like what? So now Jessica Carr is just an idiot?
Yes. Not only is she an idiot, the whole company's a freaking idiots, clearly.
You're just not thinking through the process here.
It's true, man. And like Gruss says, that's what I was alluding to, as a matter of fact, Gruss. But anyway.
Would that potentially... All right, so as the chat, I asked you, Jimmy, we heard they wanted Finn as a babyface, that they potentially had a push in store for him. What is that? Where can you see him going? Could he go back to that main event scene, or is he someone that maybe on a weekly show can dip his toe into that end of that pool? It can give you a good match with someone that will maybe pop an audience a little bit, or is there any long-term investment in him?
That's a great question. I'm not sure if he's back. I don't think you can put him back in the main event picture anymore right now, man. Unless you build him up again. This whole Judgment Day storyline with him and everyone else is just not working. Is he going to have someone to be by his side other than possibly Roxy in the future? Where we're going to get mixed tags?
I think when we look at this Judgment Day breaking up, I think Roxy can go out and find success on her own.
Oh, no, absolutely.
A hell of a worker. And I think once they can find a personality, I think they have just miscast her. She's not someone that people want to hate and boo. I think she
they love her. No,
naturally has a personality that people want to gravitate towards. They want to support and rally behind. And you look at her size, I mean, it's a great underdog story with some of these other girls.
Well, no, I agree, but she's really good, though. That's the thing. So even for her size, she makes up for it with her talent. That's for sure. But
that's one of the things with her size. She could still go out there and work multiple styles. She works good with everybody. If it's a giant,
and she doesn't look out of place either. That's what's weird.
Yeah. So I mean, she's a great talent. I see her doing some things there. Raquel still needs to rely on some sort of support from some kind of group, if it's Liv or
she's
Roxy.
Great as a support character, man. That's the thing about what's her name, Raquel.
Yeah. So, but I am kind of with you. We got to somehow start moving forward, start wrapping up this Judgment Day thing, especially find some direction.
It's going nowhere right now. That's the problem, man. Are we going to just continue doing this Finn thing every week and destroying him pretty much?
I mean, could
Finn destroys everyone? Is that what's going to happen?
Could Finn move into the Intercontinental title picture? Because we've got quite a people interested in that. On this show, we had Rusev teaming up with All Ego Ethan Page. And the heels get the big win over the Intercontinental Champion Penta and his tag team partner, Javon Evans.
Mm-hmm.
This is what it is. It's a very fast-paced match. Evans getting his stuff in, Penta getting his stuff in. I will say that in this match, I enjoyed Ethan Page getting some real heel heat. Cutting off, taking away big spots from the audience when they're getting ready to pop. One that really jumped out to me is when Javon was going up to do the leap from the top rope to Rusev on the outside table, and a very simple shake of the rope breaks that up for Ethan Page. So it gets him that traditional heat that he took away that big spot.
Wrestling 101, Rick. He gets it, man. And I think you and I are the only ones that really praise him, dude. I never used to be his biggest fan, but he won me over in AEW. Funny enough, he won me over.
There was even a couple of times where he just would go over and just pull Penta off the side. It was just taking away that big pop from the audience. And that's how you get that heel heat. Page even not being able to hit his finisher a couple of times. Right. And then finally, you had the distraction move there where with Rusev hitting the side slam on the outside table, which allows Ethan Page to hit the big suplex, and he picks up a pin on Penta, the champ there.
No, and I was happy for him to get the win too, man. I think it was the right call, to be honest with you. And I expect big things from Ethan, particularly. I mean, think about it. I think there's not one better all-rounded wrestler right now in WWE than Ethan Page. He's actually not bad at anything.
I wouldn't say that.
But he's well-rounded. I mean, and I'm not talking about
he is well-rounded, but I wouldn't put him up there like amongst like the best of anything.
No. Hell no. He's not.
He brings a lot. And he is going to have. He could easily have a long run with this company because he could fill a number of roles. He could be great at that commentary. He could be great as an agent spot, producing.
Right. He just gets it, man.
Great creative mind. He can go outside the box as well.
Absolutely. He's an asset, in my opinion. Hopefully TKO sees that in him.
As we talk about an asset here, I think the pairing with Page and Rusev helps the Bulgarian Brute. It gives him much needed life and a new direction. We can begin to believe in him, this partnership here. I even like that interaction post-match where Rusev even showing like, hey, I kind of like this. Like, hey, maybe we got something. Maybe my brute strength and your brain can do some things here together.
Yeah, but knowing WWE, you can see Rusev getting jealous eventually and just turning on Ethan Page, and maybe Ethan becomes a babyface.
Let's keep these two together for a while.
I agree.
Right. I think a new life for Rusev Day potentially.
I think Kenny also hit the nail on the head. Ethan can fit into that Miz-like spot perfectly. Works smart, not hard, and I think that's exactly what he does.
I mean, you got one on each brand. Have him compliment, kind of that similar role for each of the different shows there. I think for television, this next one, people should have been much more excited for. It still blows my mind the difference it's crazy how different the energy is in Mexico as opposed to
I hate that,
America.
right. It's bad, dude.
We got the it's trios action. Instead of 6-man, they did go trios. And it is the OG Americana and his amigos, allegedly the Creed brothers.
Oh, God.
They are taking on El Grande Americano and his minions in a trios match. Again, man, this you go back to Saturday. You go back to Saturday and see the contract signing between them and see how that story is playing out in Mexico. And it is a major letdown. One thing I did find kind of interesting here is commentary for this match in America. Cole's trying to put over how OG is the favorite here. It's not connecting. I actually had my notes. Why is this on U.S. television?
Yeah, why is it on U.S. television? I agree. Keep it in AAA where this is way over, and it's got a whole different energy to it.
If you wanted to sell this thing, I agree. This needs some exposure because I hope they have a blockbuster turnout. People tuning in, wanting to watch that coming up May 30th, Mask vs. Math. I know we're going to have some sort of big fiesta watch along here on the platform.
For sure.
But just show us the highlights from it. We don't need a match with this. We don't need Michael Cole trying to explain. Graves did a kind of a good job with it because he understands the difference in the products, and he's involved on both sides of the coin.
Exactly. That's the issue, right? I mean, so he gets it. Cole doesn't have a clue, really. Let's be honest.
Yeah,
he just doesn't.
We should have just got. We didn't need the match itself. Again, how long has it been since we've been saying, "Hey, you should get the Creed brothers," and now we just out of nowhere do it. It's again WWE created too late, too little from them on this.
What was their names? Julio and Brutus or whatever. The chubbier one.
As soon as I saw him in a mask and I saw we were getting the trios, I was just like,
one of them couldn't even see through that mask. It was too small for him.
Yes, those masks were terrible.
Ridiculous.
It was like they ordered those masks from AEW from their NFL collection.
Disgusting. Did you see those things? They look like jocks, like literally like a pair of fucking underwear on your head.
Yeah, very, very disappointing there. But again, why was this on U.S. television? But hey, don't let it turn. What you've seen on Raw with this program, this feud between the OG Americana and El Grande Americana, don't let it put you off to it. You've got to check this out at AAA. It's coming up. That match is Mask for Mask, Saturday, May 30th. We'll have something big here on the platform for 100%. Big old fiesta is what we're going to have. We want everybody to be a part of that.
And I just want to point out also that the contrast of energy and just feel between AAA and WWE when these guys are on both shows is night and day. If you watch them on AAA, I kid you not, you get excited for this match, man. The way the crowd is behind this feud and just the way everything's laid out is so much better than how WWE are really doing it, which is crazy.
Cinco de Mayo is what we're celebrating today.
Cinco de Mayo, that's
we're going to be celebrating that May 30th, Mask for Mask. Jimmy, let's talk about some of the women's segments here on the show. Only two, and no women's matches for Raw. Oh, I guess so in this day and age, but contracts everywhere. Coming up in our last segment, we're going to talk about was the contract signing for the Backlash main event, but we got Sol Ruca. She is officially signed, sealed, and delivered, a Raw talent now.
Mm-hmm.
Again, yeah. Adam Pearce out there. He's so excited to have Sol Ruca. Here is the same boring, do nothing to put the talent over video package. We don't know anything about her character. I will say this again. I'll compliment commentary here. Corey Graves and Michael Cole did more to connect Sol Ruca to the audience in the 30 seconds she took to walk down to the ring than the 2-minute video package did. All the video package was a floor routine and some soul snatchers. That was it.
That's what we keep saying all the time.
They actually took the time in her walk to the ring. They said it's been a 4-year journey. It's unbelievable to think how far she has come. She is a gymnast. She was part of our NIL program, Next in Line. She's done this in NXT. Incredible. She has like this free spirit, of the surfer. They put that over. That's what the promo packages should have been for weeks to connect with the crowd.
But
oh my God. So she's out there. She's glad to be signing with Raw. It's the greatest moment of her life. Who's going to disrupt her? Who's going to come out? You know, you're waiting on it, but it's big time sucks. Oh, Bex, I'm sorry. She comes out. So
come
Becky's
on, I know
out
she's
here.
obnoxious, but come on.
The Intercontinental Champ. This is where the wheels come off of this thing. This got so bad.
This is weird.
The internet talking about so Soul completely botches the Soul.
Oh my God, bro.
That's not
that's embarrassing.
That's not the most cringe part of this. That is not the most cringe. So inside of it too, the reason that gets sets up, Becky goes to take a cheap shot at Soul, but she ducks it and she punches Adam Pearce, which Becky's in shock. Soul sets it up. This is the rope, botches the Soul Snatcher spot there. She gets it in, but the most cringe part of this segment is what the writers gave for Soul to go out there and say on a live
snatch your soul, Rick.
I'm Soul Ruka. I will kick your ass and snatch your soul. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, it was bad, dude.
Even
I was like, what?
I will snatch your soul.
He was the idiot. He was the idiot that freaking gave her that shit. I bet you that was Michael PSA.
I was just gonna say that's got to be like a PSA. It's like
100%, bro. 100. That's a Vince thing. Like, you know what I mean? Like Vince would have even told her to say that shit. Like, you know what I mean? It's so stupid. Yeah, it was just like the chat is saying, double oof. By Cold-Blooded.
It was bad.
It was really bad and it was cringe. I felt embarrassed for everybody in this segment. Even poor friggin' Pierce, who's just losing his mind throughout this whole show.
Oh, Pierce, the Boston guy, the point guard.
Yeah, no, Pierce. Not Paul Pierce. Obviously, he's a Boston legend. But I'm talking about Al Pierce, obviously in WWE. I mean, come on, man.
We also have a sit down, a face to face. Adam Pearce was there for this as a pre-tape, but he lets the ladies have their moment. But it's Asuka and Io. Asuka, pretty much what they were saying.
Very Lucha Undergroundish, by the way.
Asuka saying that this is Io's fault. That Asuka did feel responsible for a little bit as the mentor.
Senpai.
The senpai felt responsible for the failures, the shortcomings of Io, but realizes that it is all her fault. She is going to make her pay for this. Io fires back, saying, I didn't do anything. I'm rising above you. This is your problem. You're the evil one here. They get very close. Io lets her know that I'm ready for Asuka. And she gets the blueberry juice. She gets the blues mist all in her face. I thought it was a pretty good segment. I like how they can go in and out. They both feel very comfortable in delivering it in their native language there. It's much more intense. You got to pay attention to keep up with the subtitles with it. The only thing that would have been made this completely great to me, but just to personally pop me, is if this would have happened in an apartment.
I mean, sure, but
apartment 6A wrestling. That's what I would have wanted.
Oh boy, but yeah. Look, do you find it a weird? Like they're not even acknowledging Kyrie. They're not even.
No, they didn't without her name because they said the family. You killed the family, and she said in the past, she's like, she's not here because of you.
Sure,
she has built it up like you have destroyed this. Asuka has told her, Io, this is your fault.
I guess, but who would you go over with this? I mean, actually, we'll get to that in a moment.
Well, this is interesting. We'll talk about it right now on this because it's interesting. And I saw someone in another chat group pose this question. I think it could bring up for some debate when we talk about talents that have been there for a while, renegotiating contracts. Could this be Io overcoming her mentor? And could we see Asuka taking a lead, maybe needing a restructure, maybe going in a different role, maybe Asuka not being on television to even being cut after this?
Well, funny you bring that up because Bruce in the chat said that earlier, and he's been saying this for a couple of weeks now, at the very least, about her getting released. She'll be the next on the chopping block. Well, when you think about it, Rick, she's in her 40s, right? Mid-40s at this point, close to it. I think she's a great talent still to this day.
Well, she's amazing. She's, arguably one of the best women ever. She's still at the top of her game there, but you gotta believe she's probably getting a hefty pay.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, it wouldn't surprise me, to be honest, if she does end up taking a bit of a sabbatical, should I say? I mean, who knows? I can see that. I can see it either way. Either she stays with the company or she doesn't. Either way, wouldn't surprise me. Put it that way.
Yeah, there we go. So I enjoy the little segment. Something different there, different setting. I like you got to pay attention for subtitles, and there's it's such a better energy when they're not out there trying to force the English, especially out in front of a live. The Shane McMahon ones. Yeah, we got our first look at the Oba Femi Open Challenge. I'm going to start this off by saying Open Challenge is terrible idea. Lowest common denominator booking. You have absolutely nothing to do. These are terrible. I didn't have any expectations for this thing. I will say this though. I will say this with Oba Femi. At least these things are going to be curtain to curtain, 5 minutes. They're not going to be a half hour go as fast as we can marathons like
no. This was fun though.
Challenge.
You got to give him that. It was fun just watching him.
Hey, and here's my thing. Jargo and I talked about this last week on the Hitting Marks Pro Wrestling podcast about potentially who could be some of these competitors to step up for the challenge. There's not that many. It's a short list of people that you're going to say like, okay, I want to see
because
step in there.
Everyone.
Well, even like the first thing here, I was not surprised to see it be Alpha Academy and be Otis.
Right. No,
they give you that tease that it's going to be Tozawa. Comes out there and even Oba's sitting there kind of laughing it off, and you see that intensity in Tozawa, and he gets in there and realizes, oh crap, this is a big dude. I've bitten off more like you. He's cowering over there, so Otis steps up here with it, and again, the match itself goes what 2 minutes.
2 minutes, but it was 2 minutes of absolute funness, in my opinion. Just the way he tossed him was just oof.
It seemed like he had trouble getting him up because they even talked about
for the finisher he had trouble, which looked bad, I must say. But
I mean, he's throwing around Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania. He's throwing around Brock Lesnar for weeks, and now he's having some trouble. I think it might have been Brock is probably a little easier to work with than Tubby Boy.
100%, dude. Brock is a consummate professional, man.
No, I mean just to create,
I know what you're saying.
Movement,
right? Exactly.
I'm not saying Otis isn't a professional. It's just
no. I knew exactly what you meant. Brock would have helped him with doing most of those maneuvers. Obviously,
Brock's got an easier grip where you're just dealing with like a boulder in a build.
That's why was that way of lifting him up the right thing to do though. You could have gone to the tights. Couldn't he? He didn't really go and use the tights to do that.
They saved it there. I'm not just these open challenges. Find a freaking direction. Commit to something,
direction, dude. They got
now they're just relying, and that you know what? This could backfire. This is going to make people grow tired of Oba just coming out, walking to the ring, and fall from grace, power bombing people. We need some more substance, and
I agree.
You made the commitment to jump into the deep end with him, and now it seems that they didn't have a follow-up plan for that.
He should absolutely use the pounce as a finisher. That would look awesome.
I would love to see him at some point incorporate that, because I mean, just that visual would be amazing. I mean, it's just like the spear from Rob.
How cool would it look? Yeah,
especially like in a Rumble to see him pouncing people over the top rope.
It'll look sick, dude. Maybe he should implement that in the future. Will they? Probably not.
A great signature move for him. I think right now, Oba, maybe if they're going to do King of Ring, maybe a front runner to win that. You got to get him
right now with Oba, man.
No, but this isn't it. Open challenges are not an answer for anything.
Nope. No, they're not. And they're doing it everywhere, all across the board. That's another issue.
We close out Monday Night Raw with the big contract signing for the main event of Saturday's Backlash. Roman Reigns and Jacob Fatu. They put their name, pinned the paper there. Roman out there. First, throughout the show, they put over that Tongan death grip really strong. It's like one of the most dangerous moves, not just in professional wrestling, but the entire existence of hand-to-hand combat. The Tongan death grip. They mentioned
Haku, essentially.
The great uncle Haku. They said his name. They said Haku.
Did they? I didn't recall him saying his name. Okay.
Again, Jacob, his messages is reiterating that he needs this. He's desperate. Jacob wants to squeeze every dime, nickel, and penny out of WWE. To do so, he needs Roman's chair. He needs to be at the head of the table. He needs to be the OTC. He needs to be the top guy in the company. He's doing this for himself, his family. Roman counters that he's seeing a bigger picture. That where Fatu wants to feed his family of 4 or 5, Roman wants to feed the entire tribe of 170 or something like that. Everybody that's at the family. So it's Roman's big picture against the small-minded. I've got to do this, survive on my own, which is that prison mentality of Jacob Fatu. This triggers Fatu again. He's on the attack. He's got that death grip better. He's going at Roman. He's taking it to him, just like he has everyone that stood in his path here these last couple of weeks. We talked earlier about that crowd chanting one more time, when Seth was devastated. Yeah. This entire arena, they're going off the air. They're chanting Fatu, Fatu, Fatu. Where do we stand with Roman? Is he just Roman Reigns at this point? Is he?
I don't know.
More? I mean, how am I supposed to feel about him as a character here?
Is he a heel or is he a baby face? That's another thing. Like now he's a total heel.
Are we supposed to accept that he is risen to levels of like Randy Orton, where he's not a baby, he's not a heel, he's just Randy? But I don't see it that way. I don't feel that connection.
No way. I agree with you. I don't see it that way either yet. Not yet. He hasn't earned that, in my opinion. No way. Not yet. He's close, but not. I don't know, man. Not just yet. Nowhere near it. Probably, actually, in my opinion. But yeah, you're right. I have no idea how to take this Roman. I really don't. And I've said this the last couple of weeks. I still think they've neutered Jacob Fatu just a little bit, man. His promos don't have the same passion as they did originally.
I still think he's doing a pretty good job with what they've got.
No, he's doing great for what it is.
But it is. It's like, you gotta let the werewolf unleash. Let him go out there and let his real personality shine to make that connection.
Why did they do that? What's going on with that?
I think it's going to be interesting. Let's go ahead, transition that in, get on the home stretch here. Backlash Tampa coming up this Saturday. We'll have coverage here on the platform for you. It starts at 6 p.m. Eastern. Looks like they got pretty much the entire card announced. 5 matches is what they go with right now. That's what we've got announced. Let's talk about it here. The main event, it has been made official. We got the contract signing. Jacob's been on the attack. The Civil War is fully escalated here. I think what's going to be interesting, we were just talking about there, we close Raw with Fatu, Fatu, Fatu. What kind of crowd reaction are we going to get in Tampa? Is there going to be, because that segment on Raw opened up with OTC chants, and it ended with that entire arena chanting Fatu.
I think we'll get probably both. They're probably going to chant for both guys, but I think Fatu will get the edge in terms of fan favoritism. Only because he's more of the people's sort of guy, you know what I mean? You can relate to him a lot more than you can with Roman, that's for sure. You can't relate to Roman, let's be honest. He's just on a different plateau compared to, say, Jacob Fatu. I'm also
going to be interested, outside of the crowd reaction, what is the match style going to look at? Because Roman likes working those slow, played-out story, very maniacal, work to the audience quite a bit, where Jacob, what's his slogan, man? All gas, no brakes. Let's go at it. So it's going to be interesting to see how they put those styles, those philosophies together to put together the match. They were talking about it. I am looking forward to that one, to see how they present that thing.
Absolutely.
The crowd's going to be into it. Where's the crowd direction going to go? How's that match going to be laid out? And that's one of those that you got to believe that Paul Heyman has a heavy hand in.
Oh, 100%. I mean, 300% he would, man. And hopefully these two guys in terms of styles doesn't clash, because don't be surprised if it just doesn't work out because of their two contrasts.
I think this one is going to be one of those that we'll really talk about. Now, what has me curious is the finish. We're going to get some kind of schnoz finish, or are we going to have people turning on each other? But I think that's good. That's where you want the intrigue. With this thing.
No, definitely, man. 100% we're going to get some sort of fuckery for the finish.
Oh, there you go. Gru's saying, what about the debut there of Zilla? Where are some of these other players going to align?
That would be interesting. But do we know anything about that? Is he out of contract? He's been resting a lot.
People keep talking about him, so I'm not really sure.
He's got a similar background and history, obviously, to Jacob Fatu as well. He was just in jail as well, in prison. And he's a lot younger, so I don't know if WWE will mess with him just yet. I think they want him to mature a lot more, which apparently he has. But I don't know. Time will tell. It'll be great though. Maybe we do get him debuting. It would make sense to do it at this point, would it not?
What we do know this, when Roman had that last run with it, the record-breaking run, a lot of shenanigans in those finishes. So I think that is the intrigue to see where that plays out. How about another big match for some heavy hitters here? We talked about that. One more time. Sympathy not really falling in Seth Rollins' way. Who are you liking here? Braun Breaker, Seth Rollins?
The right thing to do is for Braun Breaker to win, but unfortunately, I don't think that's going to happen. So I think Seth is going to get the W just because of Seth Rollins.
I mean, Seth does not need this here. I think if you want that sympathy, you want to start bringing people around, I'd almost have Braun go out there and win this thing in 2 minutes. Go out there and smash him. Smash Seth. Shatter his confidence. He is alone. Seth has always gotten over because he's had a plan. He's had henchmen. He's had an ace up his sleeve. The tomfoolery, the trickery. Now he has to stand alone. Go out there and eat one. Go out there, get your ass whooped. Start getting some sympathy back from that crowd. I'd love to see that thing stay under 5 minutes.
I would love to see that, and hopefully Seth Rollins would have the foresight in actually saying that, to the booking committee. But I don't know, man. I'm going to say still Seth gets the win. That's not the right thing, though. That
would be Seth winning. That is the worst possible decision.
I agree with you.
If it goes 2 minutes, if it goes 20, whatever, Braun Breaker needs to win that. You just got him back. You need to reestablish his dominance.
This was the go home show, correct?
Yeah, it's this is this Saturday.
Well, traditionally, the guy that gets beat up. Oh, you know what? Yeah, the guy that gets beat up gets the win, bro.
Like shit that we read into. Seth should not win this.
Though. He should
get destroyed.
He should, but we'll see.
Io Sky, Asuka. We talked about destroying the family. The senpai versus the student.
Right.
Hey, I'm not surprised if we see Asuka disappear here for a little bit. I'm not. It's not a knock on her anyway. I love her. I think she's one of the all-time greats.
She has to. She loses this.
There's a lot going on in there's women's division, but I think Io, she is that star. Even got me growing on that. There, I was just doing it out in public. People are like, "What the hell are you doing?"
Oh man,
it's about as when I'm sitting there doing this, I get the confusing look when I say, "Well, give me human monies," and they're like, "What the hell are you talking about, idiot, you loser?" We have no idea what you're talking about, but I think Io gets that one. I think we'll both agree on this one. I think the chat will agree with. I think the Hamian Army and everybody listen to us will agree with this one. Trick Williams needs to end it with Sami Zayn and move on.
Please, yes, Trick all the way.
Yeah, we'll go Trick all the way. Do it. Do it for the gingerbread man.
Do it for the gingerbread man.
Do it for your fallen homies, the gingerbread. Yachty can pull one out for the gingerbread man over there. But
where's the candy cane?
Yes, do it for the gingerbread man up in gingerbread heaven. Now let's talk about the true main event. What everybody is going to be signing up to ESPN Plus. Oh, by the way, Seth Rollins, Braun Breaker going to be on ESPN2.
ESPN2, that's right.
On ESPN2 for free there. See how that turns out for him. Good match for that. The athleticism. And that's another one. You know what? That's going to go more than the squash. It's going to be an extended one. But Braun, in the end, needs to dominate him.
I agree. I agree with you 100%. For me, I'd want Braun to win. But like I said, I'm just not sure if he's going to get the win.
He has to. But that match is going to be an extended one. They're both going to get their offense in it because I don't think they want to give away another pretty much squash like they did with Brock and Oba on there. Only one match on there. But the big question, the true main event. It's the Miz and Kit Wilson taking on Danhausen in a mystery partner. All right, chat, who you got over there? GT, who you got? Danhausen has put out the bat signal to the Invisible Man, to the Taker, to Corey, to Shawn Michaels, to Triple H, everybody. He's calling every legend.
It's got to be Philhausen.
Cold Stone.
Cold Stone. William Steve. Maybe that guy could turn up.
Bruce, is that your answer there? Little Caesars Pizza?
Yeah,
Are we going to get
it could
Little
be that.
Caesar? Hey,
Little
all
Caesars
right.
pizza.
Frank
No,
saying
it's
Pepsi.
Pepsi Phil. It is. It's got to be. Come on.
Oh,
It makes sense.
You guys got to have some fun with this. Have some imagination with it.
Or Evil Housing would be great.
We talked about this yesterday on the Monday Locker. Had some great suggestions there. I like Papa Shango.
I heard you say that. That'd be funny as hell, but I don't see
that would be a great one. A time with the face paint. Do
you think it would be someone like that? Like the Boogeyman?
Boogeyman would be a great one.
Oh, Jesus.
I think the Boogeyman would be a good one.
Yeah, okay. Oh, you know what? If it's not Pepsi Phil, I'll go with the Boogeyman. It has to be. He's still signed up to a Legends contract too, mind you. And I'm talking about the Boogeyman, obviously. Plus, Absolutely. It would make sense. That was shit bricks. The Miz and Kit Kat would absolutely be scared as hell if it is the Boogeyman.
Oh, I imagine Kit out there with a spot half need all these worms or something like that.
No, I think I'm leaning towards Boogeyman more so now than anything.
I think it would be great. Yeah, but that's going to be the fun one. To me, that's what I'm most excited about. Talking about it, I am turned on. I'm ready to go here for Roman and Jacob. But yeah, not really a bad little card there for Backlash, I guess.
For sure, definitely. And I won't be just going fair now, unfortunately, Gross. Oh, there we go. Michelle McCool, just as Undertaker.
Yeah, we is that the other day? Michelle McCool as her loser husband. She got to get a payday. Someone's got to carry that household.
Oh, don't make me laugh, please. Jesus. That'd be hilarious, though.
All right, Jimmy. Well, that's going to wrap things up for this week at WWE. Hey, we're going to have coverage this weekend, of course, of Backlash. Stay tuned. We'll have those announcements. Obviously, Brandon hosting the watch along. You never know who's going to show up with him.
That's right.
We'll figure out something for a breakdown when we want to do that. But hey, all the great programming here, patreon.com/Ami Media Group. Jimmy, get us out of here.
Well, like I said, tune in for all the shows that we do, obviously, every week, right here, every day, shall we say, on Ami Media Group's YouTube channel. And of course, check us out on the Patreon. More importantly, where for $5 you can get all sorts of bonuses just quietly. But in saying that, I am Jimmy T. He is R to the B to the V. And you've been listening and watching This Week in WWE live on Ami Media Group's YouTube channel. And of course, on Patreon after the fact. Till next time, peace out, much love, and we're out. See yous.